boys and girls. I'm gonna read you the storybook. It is called The Bat Boy and His Violin by Kevin Curtis, illustrated by E.B. Lewis. Let's begin the story. I sashay my bow across the violin strings, the way a mosquito skims a summer pound, with hardly any mistakes. Tchaikovsky fills the living room of our house on Tyler Road. When the back door slams and metal cleats stomp onto the kitchen floor, I know Papa is home. Is Reginald at it again? He shouts between notes. Hush up, Mama says. I should love this one. Cooped up inside all the time, it is a wonder that boy don't sprout mushrooms. So this is a little boy who likes to play with his violin. His name is Sachet. I try to play louder than Papa's voice by sawing the music hard. He suddenly comes home in a bad mood because he is the manager of the Dukes, the worst team in the Negro National League. So far, the 1948 season has been the toughest yet. Papa's even having trouble booking games. The team is likely to lose. He says it is because all his best hitters and fielders are going over to a play for white teams, the way Jackie Robinson did last year. Uh-oh. He's a boy, but it sounds like his father's having trouble with his baseball team. But this boy loves to play his violin. So let's see what happens next. You know our baby wants to be in a famous orchestra someday, Mama says, following Papa into the living room. Well, right now the Dukes could use a bat boy, and I think it'll do Reginald some good to get out the house. We'll get him a uniform and everything. I stopped playing. What about practice? I asked. Don't you remember I have a recital next month in the basement at church? You can rehearse between innings, tending to bats. Don't take up no whole load of time. Papa pretends to swing one at an invincible pitch. Anyway, you do a good job, and I'll let you have your fiddle recital right here. I smile because our living room is bigger than the church basement. I prefer to call it a violin, I say. Papa doesn't hear. He's too busy admiring the trophy cabinet. Papa does... Heck, Papa says. This might even inspire you to become a ball player the way your old man was. So his father's trying to encourage him to play baseball, but he wants to play music with an orchestra, and he's practicing for a recital, but his father wants him to follow his footsteps, not his own. But his mom is always supportive of her son, Reginald. She wants Reginald to be a musician, playing in the orchestra. Next morning, I ride with Papa and the Dukes to Cleveland on the team's rickety old bus. We get to the field for our game against the Buckeyes, and the bleachers are already packed with their fans. So now they're on an old rickety bus on the way to Cleveland to play a baseball team against the Buckeyes. So let's see how this goes for Reginald, the little boy. Mr. Forrest, the shortstop, is the first one up. I want to do a good job, so I bring him 6 bats to choose from. It's too many and they all roll out of my hands and make Mr. Forrest stumble like he's skating on ice. He lands flat on his backside, making the crowd howl like they just seen a circus clown performance. One at a time, boy! Papa's face is all crinkled. Mr. Forrest gets up and misses the ball 3 times. Nobody else falls, but the next 2 outs come quickly. The Dukes take the field, and I notice some bats are scuffed from Mr. Forrest. I remember the polish I use on my violin, and I buff the bats clean with a towel until they shine. I lay them with the others evenly in a row against the fence, standing beside them ready for when it is the Duke's turn to bat again, praying nothing more goes wrong. So he's cleaning the bats, the little boy, I guess. But he's playing with his dad's team. That's really cool. Helping on your dad's team. That's awesome. Starting to get the hang of it. It ain't ya, Papa says. Yep, I say rocking heel, two-toe and two-toe heel. Mr. Mosley, the third baseman, tips his cap because I hand him a bat. When he swings at the pitch, the bat flips out of his hand and misses the umpire's head by no more than an inch. I'll pass out the bats, Papa says after the umpire has calmed down. Papa grumbles under his breath because the umpire makes him rub dirt on each bat. Can I help? I ask. Why don't you relax a spell on the bench? I'll give you a chance to fiddle. You mean violin? Just keep it low. Lord knows I don't need nothing making my headache worse. Papa takes his cap off and uses it to wipe the sweat from his face. So they're already playing baseball, and now his dad wants him to sit on the bench with his violin. So let's see what happens next. I play ball, Swan Lake. I play Swan Lake. The way I feel sad and quiet, but I'm not clumsy with my violin. I'm careful, glancing only one time at the music I know by heart. In the last measure, I pull my bow slowly to hold the final note long. There sure was something pretty, says Mr. LaRue, the center fielder who is waiting on deck. Kinda makes the hairs on the back of my neck do a jig. Thank you, I say, a little embarrassed that anyone had listened. So he's playing his little violin, boys and girls. Look. And the players are enjoying it. That's really perfect. Maybe that'll help them win the game. You're on the roof, Papa calls. His headache must have disappeared because a smile crosses his face. How about doing a jig with that bat and getting a hit? As Mr. LaRue steps up to the plate, I start to play it again. He lets the first pitch go past him, but swings hard on the next. Run! Papa yells because Mr. LaRue sends the ball toward the outfield. Before he can reach first base, the ball leaves the park. He takes his time and does a kind of hop around in the field while I play until he gets back to home plate. So Mr. LaRue hit a home run and and his father yells and run! No, sorry. The boy's father yells run to his teammate because he hit a home run. Back in what really worked was the song that Reginald was playing with his violin. And that really helped the team. Let's see. Mr. Evan the catcher bats next, and I play Mozart, and the same thing happens again. It happens with the left fielder, the second baseman, and the third baseman too. Ambushed by the ninth inning, but the Dukes have beaten the Buckeyes 7-4. It is the first game they win in months. Ain't this boy talented? Ain't this a talented boy, Papa says, and massages my arm instead of the pitcher. It's always being funny, you know? He was massaging his son's arm because he was playing the violin instead of the pitcher who was pushing the whole game. But you can't see it because it's not in here, but it says in the story. But they won 7-4 because of this little boy's lovely songs and music he plays. And his papa's all proud. Each day I like being the bat boy more than the last. Papa handles the bats and he lets me play my violin as much as I want. Besides that, the Dukes have stopped losing. I haven't seen Papa this happy since he was a player. 3 weeks into our winning streak, Papa makes an important announcement. We got us a game with the Monarchs. I'm the only one not cheering. So I ask, are they any good? Any good? He says, why, they're the best colored team there is. I thought we were, I say. If we beat them Monarchs, we will be. Folks are saying now that baseball's becoming integrated. The Negro Leagues won't be around forever. The season's coming to an end, and this might be the Duke's last chance to make a real mark, make a name for ourselves. Papa lifts me up onto his shoulders. Good thing we got us a gifted little bat boy. So they're having to play against the Monarchs. Then they have to have big league teams. And they're very happy. They're being noticed by everyone, by the fans. And all because of that little boy playing his lovely violin. That night, the night before the big game, Papa can't find a hotel in town that will accept the Dukes. We don't exactly caught into a collards, sleeping in our beds. One white clerk says, y'all gonna have to look elsewhere. Thank you kindly, just the same, Papa says, tipping his cap. I reckon our bus will do us fine. We park on a field outside the stadium, and Mr. LaRue grills catfish and corn on the cob. After a dinner, fancying their chances of winning a pennant makes the team too jittery to sleep, So I play them a lullaby. Mama sometimes hums to me before bed. Reginald, Papa says when the sound of snores joins the sound of crickets. You got a knack that fool Clark should have heard. You're pretty fiddlin'. Violining? I tell Papa before falling asleep on his belly. That's so cool. Well, it's hard because they couldn't sleep in the hotel because of, well, because white folks did not accept them back in the past, in the 1960s. But now everything has changed. And this boy has made a change in this team. And now they have a dream to reach. The next day, the sun is high and little shade can be found once the game has gone into extra innings. I play my best, but nothing seems to work, at least not for the Dukes. I play Beethoven, and Mr. Forrest and Mr. Mosley both hit balls that seem to fly right back into the pitcher's glove. I play Mozart and Mr. LaRue is tagged out at home. But when I play Bach, Bach, that's a weird name, with the game tied 2 outs and Papa very nervous, Mr. O'Neill from the Monarchs knocks a high curling wallop into deep left field. I stopped playing just in time to see the ball easily clear the fence. The Dukes lose 18-17. Well, that's sad. They lost. But I think the boy had fun playing with the team. That's really good. The team congratulates the Monarchs and heads for the showers. No one says anything when they walk past me. Papa looks sad as he gathers up the equipment. I want to help him, but I go straight to the bus instead, wondering if the church basement is still available for my recital. So Papa was really worried about winning, but I think the boy is thinking that his dad's probably upset with him, and the team's probably upset with him because of his music did not work during the game, the most important game. Son, Papa finally says on a quiet ride home. Play something happy. He takes the violin down from the baggage rack and hands it to me. We could all use a little cheering up. I was afraid you wouldn't like my music anymore. Twist the pegs and make sure it is tuned. Of course, I still like your music. Papa sits in the seat and puts me on his lap. It sure helped us get a lot further than I thought we could without our best players. Shoot, when I shut my big mouth and listen, I love what I heard. I love you. Ball game ever gonna change that? Thought of most of all, win or lose, Negro Leagues or not, ain't no ball game ever gonna change that. I love you too, Papa. I hug him and then play the minute once over and over again. That's really sweet. says Papa wants to hear music from his son playing the violin. That way we could cheer the team up and him up because that's all we need. That's all our team needs is to be cheered up. A week later, baseball season is over, and at last I perform my recital. The only sound heard through my house on Tyler Road is the softness of a Schubert sonata with no mistakes. Mama, Papa, the Dukes, and their wives fill the first 4 rows of our crowded living room. You folks must be right proud of Reginald, I heard Mr. LaRue whisper. He sure plays a powerful fiddle. Papa smiled and puts his arm around Mama. Sure does, he says. Except we prefer to call it a violin. And that's the end of the story of the bad boy and his violin. I think what's really important, boys and girls, is that everybody, sometimes we used to have troubles. No, sorry, not we. What I'm trying to say is that everybody should always love each other and appreciate the special gifts that you have, the special power that you have. And that special power is your heart, is your dreams, is your future. Yeah, and the past was really hard with the intro Negro leagues. It was very hard for the Negro players. But they broke a very good rule that should be broken. Sorry, really bad rule or whatever it was. They broke the color barrier, and it was awesome. Even Roberto Clemente broke the color barrier. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, and he was the first player, the first Negro player. What I'm trying to say is that we should respect everybody's dreams and accept them, what they have and what they love to do, and believe in them, just like we believe in Jackie Robinson, just like we believe in Dr. Martin Luther King, just like we believe in Cesar Chavez. I'm trying to say we should respect everybody, every color person from around the world. Just like Reginald has earned the love and respect from his father and his team, the Dukes team. Which I would like to talk about that right now. This is Barry and ZB. Hi, Butch Girls. Hi! So what did we learn about Reginald, the boy? Sorry, the bad boy and his violin. We learned that this boy had a special gift. And what's his special gift? Playing the perfect violin. And who supported Reginald? His mama and his daddy. But his dad wanted him to be a ball player just like him. Yes, but Reginald does not want to be a ball player, and plus, he did not know about baseball either. Yeah, that's true, but he loves music. So another question. Was his dad took him to his team? Yes, the Dukes team. But they were losing every game. But what changed the attitude in the other game against the Buckeyes in Cleveland? When Reginald was playing this violin, he was playing Mozart, he was playing jazz and jiggle and I'm trying to remember. Oh, Swan Lake. And everybody was hitting and winning all those games. Yes, and his daddy was proud, and all thanks to Reginald for his wonderful violin and his wonderful music he's been playing. That's correct. So, did they play against the Monarchs? Yes, and everybody was nervous, but also they were really tired. And why they were really tired? Because they couldn't sleep in the hotel room, well, which was really sad. And why is that? Because white folks did not let them sleep in hotel rooms for Negro players. And that was really wrong. But good thing everything has changed. That is a very good thing. But and but then again, the Monarchs who won. They went to an extra inning, and the bad boy Reginald was trying to play a nice tune, but nobody was in their mood for the game. Nobody was even having a good game. They all looked really sad. And they lost? Yes, they did lost. 18-17. And Reginald said was really sad. Even on the way on the bus, he looked a little bit sad, but he wanted to hear his boy play the violin. Yes, a lovely song could cheer him up. And did he cheer him up and the team up? Yes, he did. That was really thoughtful of Reginald. And did Reginald made it to his recital? Yes. And everybody was watching the little boy play this lovely violin. Everybody, his family, his parents, and the team. The Duke's team. Wow. So Reginald was really famous. Yes, he was. And he had a special gift. Playing music for an orchestra. A recital. And that was the end of the story. So, what would you give the advice to kids? I say if you have a special gift like playing music or playing baseball or even becoming a singer or a musician or anything that you dream that you want to be, make it come true. Yes, make it come true just like Reginald made history come true. That's correct. And all your dreams will come true, boys and girls. Believe me, they will. And one more thing to say is, don't let anyone judge you for who you are and for what dreams you want to follow. You follow your dreams, boys and girls, only your dreams. Because that's all that matters. And in your heart, too. You see? That's why we want all of you to follow your dreams, because they will come true. And they will. Oh, I love that story. And it's better to learn everything. Especially that we should all respect and love each other. Even respect the color of our skins. Yes, and love everyone. Just like you, ZB, are stripes, white and black, and you are brown. But we're best friends and we're family. And we always love each other. Yes, we do. Alright, boys and girls, we gotta go. Good night, everybody. Have a nice night. See you all tomorrow for story time. Good night. I'm gonna dream something beautiful. Me too. And they will. So remember, boys and girls, follow your dreams, because they will come true. Good night, everybody.